many sacrifices we must make for the next generation. But it's all worth it if it saves Western civilization. Now's not the time to be timid and weak. We need to teach our kids the difference between right and wrong. Not to be afraid, but be strong. Let them use their voice and speak. Rockabye, baby, holding you tight.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. I'm Holy Joe Rock and Roll, your host, for this episode of The Big Lie, where we're going to discuss the protocols of the Elders of Zion. First off, if you're not familiar with this book, you really should download it. It's available as a PDF. If you don't have time to read, get the audiobook. It's available as a download off of YouTube. If you can figure out how to download anything from YouTube. Download the audiobook, listen to in your car on your next commute. It's about 3 hours long. You can hear everything, okay? I'm not here to tell you what to think. I'm here to tell you to think. And one side of the story is that the protocols of the Elders of Zion is a forgery. Well, what does a forgery mean? It means that it's based on something true but twisted, or it's a fake copy, right? If somebody makes a forgery of a painting, it's trying to be like the original, but it's a copy, not the original. So let's say that the protocols is a forgery. That does not make it not true. Okay? So if anybody says that it's a forgery, they're not saying that the protocols are not true. The next group of deniers will say that the protocols is a fabrication based upon a previous book known as that it's a ripoff of the dialogues in hell between Machiavellian and Montesquieu. Now, in order to answer that question, of course, you would have to read the dialogues. Now, I've read the dialogues, and once again, they're available as a PDF. It's about 153 pages long, but it reads very quickly. If you get the audiobook, it's probably about an hour and a half. So when you read this book, the dialogues in hell between Machiavellian and Montesquieu, there is nothing in here that I can find that would be directly correlating with the protocols of the Elders of Zion. In fact, the word Jew is only used one time in this book. Okay? So that is a non-starter. That is a lie to say that the dialogues is a ripoff of this book. Complete fabrication. Now, you really have to do some research. When the student is ready, the teacher will appear. If you're ready to learn about this and be red-pilled, just start watching videos, read the book, listen to the videos. The dialogues with all of the information, the prologue, everything, it's 3 hours or less as an audiobook. It's 109 pages, so this book is even shorter than the previous book. But if you look at the protocols, and what are the protocols? The protocols are basically the dialogue, meaning the agenda items that supposedly a meeting of the Elders of Zion, meaning the Jewish leadership in Russia, had this meeting, and these are the notes and sort of the action items, the agenda items, okay? I challenge you to read this book and ask yourself, if this book is a forgery, why is this the playbook of the globalist? It's been the playbook of the globalist for over 100 years. Look at some of the topics. I won't read them all, but economic wars, materialism replace religion, despotism and modern progress, worldwide wars, re-education, the totalitarian state, control of the press, distractions, assault on religion, ruthless suppression, brainwashing, abuse of power, arrest of opponents, rulers and people, financial program, loans and credit, power of gold. Instilling obedience, qualities of the ruler. Now, if you're pretty hip to what's been going on, some of these are buzzwords. And this, if you read the protocols, you will be saying to yourself, this is the playbook of the globalist. Now, some people will call the globalist /Zionist /Rothschilds /global bankers /whatever you want to call it. The protocols, if they are a fake, why is this in fact the playbook of the globalists? That's really what I want to impress upon you, is that the media has been lying to you for forever. And if anyone tells you that this is a fake and it's nothing but pure anti-Semitism, read it for yourself. Read it for yourself and understand what's in it, and how is that what's happening now? And who's behind these policies? For instance, worldwide wars, right? There was no blood for oil, no wars for Israel, no more wars for Israel. Is that what's been happening? The totalitarian state, is that what we're happening? After 9/11, the Patriot Act, the crackdown on our freedoms, the spying, control of the press. Who controls the media? Someone said once that the globalists, when they come into a new country, they first identify the levers of power, and then they work very quickly to obtain control of the levers of power. The media being one of them. Control of the press, the media. This is one of the levers of power. Assault on religion. What religion is being assaulted in the Western world? It's Christianity. It's the only thing that's being assaulted. The Jews have a pass because everything's anti-Semitic. If you say anything about anything opposing Israeli policy is somehow anti-Semitic. Anything against Islam, hashtag Islam sucks balls, is considered Islamophobic. Why? Why are we protecting Islam and Judaism, but Christianity is the only religion that can be attacked? It's in the protocols. Ruthless suppression, suppression of the truth, suppression of free expression. We see that on Google, on Facebook, on Twitter. Suppression of ideas. It's in the protocols. This is the playbook that the leftists, the globalists, the communists, the Zionists have been using for over 100 years. Now, don't take my word for it. I'm not telling you what to believe. I'm telling you to read the book for yourself. It's not that complicated. And then ask yourself the question, is this not exactly what is happening today? And who is behind these policies? Chuck Schumer, Jewish senator from New York, big anti-gun advocate, big gun control advocate. Why does he want to take guns away? Really used to be friends with Donald J. Trump when Trump was supporting him. And now he's trying to be setting himself up to run for president, probably. He's the Goblin. Chuck Schumer is the Goblin from Spider-Man. Just look at the cartoon, look at this guy's face. You know what I'm talking about. The power of gold. These globalists have been funding wars. Both sides of the war. Why? To create chaos and mischief in the land. To create problems. But the globalists have been funding both sides of wars, not really caring who is the victor, just caring that both sides do as much damage to each other as possible. Then you have the fact of creating conflict within Western societies, creating conflict between groups. Black Lives Matter, right? This is creating conflicts between African Americans and whites based upon a narrative that is not true. Hands up, don't shoot was not true. And that's the basis of Black Lives Matter, funded by Soros. Then you have the war in Iraq, civil war in Syria, the whole so-called Arab Spring and the revolutions there. Who did Obama back? He didn't back secular people. He backed the Muslim Brotherhood in most of these places. Why? Then you have the migration and the globalists wanting to allow in millions of third world, non-educated savages, basically, military-age men, many of them actual fighters for ISIS, coming into Europe as refugees. What is this creating? More conflict within Western Christian societies. Who benefits from that? Now, this is not to demean all Jews, because obviously there's plenty of Jews who are being affected negatively from these policies, but it is this class of people, of this leadership class, if you want to call it, this mega wealthy class that is behind, like Soros, like a guy like Soros, but other people like him, like-minded people, are pushing these policies. The whole gender bender stuff. First it was, gays were in fact were saying, leave us alone. We just want to do our own thing. What happens in the privacy of our bedrooms is our business, right? And I think most people were like, yeah, whatever. I don't care what you're doing. Just leave me the fuck alone. Then it went from that to, we're here, we're queer, we're going to stay, to gay pride parades, which are nothing more than just barbaric, anti-humanistic, sacrilegious, just bestiality festivals in public. And then now it's educating everybody, our kids, to believe that this is normal, this is okay, and that gay people should be able to adopt children. And then it's gone even further. Now it's the whole trans thing, and now there's more than 2 genders. There's 100 different genders. It makes no sense. It makes absolutely no sense. And it's part of abuse of power. It's a part of brainwashing. It's part of controlling of the people, creating division. Who benefits? Who wants to take over? So look, when you see what's happening today, what has been happening for really 100 years, and you read the protocols of the Elders of Zion, you cannot deny that this is in fact the playbook of the globalists. We'll just call it the globalists. And that's all I really want to impart upon you, is to do your own research. Do not believe anybody who says that this is just pure anti-Semitism. It's not pure anti-Semitism. If Jews are behind, or even if you want to call them atheistic Jews, because Soros is an atheist, but he is Jewish. And we know from his own words that he helped the Jews he helped the Nazis round up Jews in Hungary, and they were put to death. So, come on, think about it. How crazy that is. But when you ask yourself, why is this happening? Read the protocols, put 2 and 2 together, and make up your own mind. And now we have to come up with ways that we can defeat this. It's by working together. It's by not allowing these techniques to work against us. There are many sacrifices we must make for the next generation, but it's all worth it if it saves Western civilization. I'm Holy Joe Rock and Roll, reminding you to make it happen for the captain, because you're the captain.
There are many sacrifices we must make for the next generation, but it's all worth it if it saves Western civilization. Now's not the time to be timid and weak. We need to teach our kids the difference between right and wrong, not to be afraid, but be strong. Let them use their voice and speak. Rockabye, baby, holding you tight through the night, gonna be alright. Rocking you slowly, holding you tight.